Hello and welcome back. Today we are playing Alien. So, welcome back to the channel. As I said, today we are going to play our fourth installment of our Alien campaign. We're using campaign play, not the cinematic play, campaign play. Space Truckers. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. It is much appreciated. If you're not a subscriber, please could you consider subscribing. The little subscribe button probably glowed as I said, please could you consider subscribing. I think it must pick up the audio and then it must do it itself. I noticed it on someone else's video I was watching. That's quite cool. Anyway, thank you also very much to our members and thank you to all of you for supporting me. I really do appreciate the support. Unbelievable. It's really thankful. So where did we leave our crew? There were a few things happening at the end of we did some rolls. I wasn't too sure what was going to happen or where we were going to go, but a few things happened in the first part of Act 2. We have encountered, so the Red Dwarf has docked. Well, no, the Red Dwarf has encountered, so we're not docked with them, has encountered a craft, the Augustine, which is a salvage craft, which is attempting to salvage from an old derelict, 18 years old derelict, the Nereus, which is an unregistered craft. It's a government unregistered craft. It's a Black Ops craft. We don't know at this stage whether they have gone on board the Nereus, but we do know that an umbilical has docked with it. Both Kat and Lister did a spacewalk over. Kat's suit got damaged, but it was a makeshift put together suit. Lister built it. And we, via rolls and various other things, it seems that there was a virus had contaminated the Augustine salvage craft. And the AI, the mother AI, had been having issues and a signal had been sent by some of the crew, supposedly. When we went over, we realised that the crew, 3 members of the crew were on the bridge and dead. Kat encountered them, they were dead. Kat was able to reboot the AI, mother, and that's where we basically left it. We have 3 dead crew on board the Augustine. We don't know why they are dead. So we've got a few things that we need to do. So I was thinking since the last recording, I was thinking like, what should we do? Where should we send the story? What sort of thing we do? I've got a handful of ideas. And so I thought in the nature of trying to describe like how I do solo, how I do this. So it's like I'm coming up with, it's like I'm writing a story, but I'm not quite, I'm also using the dice. And so I've got some ideas of where this can go. So we've got some dead crew. Now what we could do is we could just try and investigate the ship and see what's on it. We could go and try salvaging the ship and see what's on board and see if there's anything worth it. Now we're not actually a salvage crew, we're a trucker crew. So we're not actually equipped or skilled for a salvage type operation. But we could attempt to do it to find what's on there, and then we could have like an alien and we could have the story go that way. But then how about, so then we've got like, why is the crew dead? Why did we drop out of space? Is there some sort of corporate? And one of the things that it says about campaign play is try and have an overall theme for the campaign. And some of the theme focuses, so they say with the campaign play, when starting a new campaign, give some thought as to what themes you want to place in the most importance in the campaign. So you could go like, say, killing greed, corporate intrigue, tidings of war, new opportunities, secret research, echoes of the past. And secret research sort of stood out. So because I'd read that and the secret research was saying, okay, well, we said this is a Black Ops craft, it's got something on board. Maybe that thing on board is quite interesting. And so what we did say is that when they were boarding, that signal that was sent out was saying that, and we did roll to say that this was an official, so we checked, and this was an official salvage that declared themselves salvage. So that made me think, okay, so maybe in the, because if you remember in Alien, the Nostromo dropped out because Wayland basically sent a signal and told them to drop out to then go and investigate the signal. They were actually told to drop out to investigate the signal. It was that Wayland wanted that. So maybe that's why we have dropped out. So that's another thought. We've dropped out of FTL because of the Mayday signal to find this, because we know it's there, because this salvage craft found it, and there's something he's going to be wanting us. So I thought, okay, well, what if they want us? What could it be? Maybe we'll be told to leave the water here, and then we'll take this to the research facility. So maybe the place where we're taking the water to is a research facility. Maybe the taking the water was a ruse, and we're taking this to the research. We're told to take this to the research facility. Okay, well that might happen. That could be. So that's a second option that we could take the story down, and we'll use the dice and different sorts of investigations. We'll do investigations to see where the story will go. But maybe a third one is we have 3 people in cryo at the moment who I've mentioned at the start. Coincidentally, not the rest of the crew don't know who they are. So the 4 members of the crew, well, mainly the 3 members of the crew, so Crichton, Lister and Rimmer have worked together doing shipping before. So they've crewed before. Cat, they must have encountered before because they would have got jobs before, but maybe not actually crewed with Cat before. But the other 3, we said we don't know who they are. Not even Cat knows, as far as I'm aware at this point, knows who they are. And they just came in and they looked a bit shifty and they went into. And I said they looked shifty and went into cryo. Maybe they are here to take over piloting to do the salvage of this craft, take over the Augustine, and tow this thing away somewhere else. And so we've got some various different things that this might go. So this is the sort of like the solo approach, like thinking these. And now what we will do is how long's this been going? That's about 7 minutes. Now what we will do is we will use the dice and people's skill rolls to finish off Act 2. So this is part 2 of Act 2. We'll finish off Act 2 and find out where it goes, and then Act 3 being so Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3. Let me refresh you. So mainly Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 is utilised for the cinematic play, but Peter's Parts Per Million guide uses Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3 as part of the campaign method of solo play as well. So Act 1, so what we'll do is we will have multiple missions. So we will go through the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 arc multiple times when we go play through this campaign, and we'll start to do our missions and take them somewhere. So we'll have a conclusion. So we'll have a story arc campaign, but we don't know where that arc is going at the moment, but we can kind of try and guide it depending on what story feels good. So Act 1 is the setup. NPCs are introduced, conflicts are established. So that was our first act when we first dropped out, because we had the mishap aboard the cargo, and we had some friction between Lister and Rimmer. Act 2 is the tilt. Something unexpected happens, raising the stakes and a level of danger. Secrets are revealed. That's what this Act 2 is going to be. And Act 3 is the showdown. The story comes to a climatic resolution depending on the actions of the PCs. So we might not have such a climatic resolution at that point, because we might have an overall arcing Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, as well as our individual mission Act 1, Act 2, Act 3s. There we go. Just a little bit. So I'm starting to do a little bit more of that for maybe the last week, and this week I'll do a bit more, maybe a bit more next week as well. And then I'll leave doing all this description alone a bit more and just go straight through doing stories as I did do, more like old school Twilight 2000. So we've got a crew. So Kat has brought the life support back on board the Augustine. We're still umbilicaled across to the nearest, the government's craft. Lister is still down near the umbilical cord, which is attached to the nearest, because they had to cut their way through onto it. Although the life support has come back. So I am tempted to say, like, did they actually go aboard the nearest? So I think one of the first questions I'm going to ask, which I think I've got down here, did they search the Black Ops vehicle? So one of the easiest ways is for Lister basically can see, Lister is just going to potter a bit whilst he's waiting to find out what's to do next. What's to do? what to do next, and he will run some diagnostics against the nearest and see whether it obviously had been opened up, whether somebody had gone over, and we can see that because see what sort of atmosphere is on the inside, and he may be able to find out what's actually in there. Now, Lister doesn't have the best. This, I would think, is going to be Comtech in the first instance, and he's not got the best Comtech. We might give them, actually, because a lot of them are a bit stressed. Cat may not get a chance to do this. Oh no, Lister's got no stress left. Cat has got 2 stress. Cat is still on board. Cat's basically standing in a room with 3 dead bodies, so I'm happy with Cat having stress. And Rimmer is still stressed because Rimmer is basically the officer in charge at the moment, and so he is having a bit of a stressful situation because things aren't going very well. Lister, for some reason, has no stress left, and I can't remember why that was, but if you look back on last episode, then you should be able to see. So Lister has not got any Comtech, but he's going to do basic. He's going to use his basic. Maybe he can use observation. What actually is observation? You need to be on your guard at all times, won't live long. So this is more spotting. So this is more so sort of like spot hidden, not really observing to see whether. So he's going to run some diagnostics against the from the outer to see if anything, what the atmosphere is like on board the Black Ops ship, and see if he can work out anything about that. Otherwise, he's going to have to do something a bit more mechanically minded, and I'll need to think about what that is. He got 1 hit. Nice. So Lister has run some diagnostics, and he is going to be able to find out. So we've got Act 2, Part 2. So let's see, how could we know? Oh, what about, have we got atmosphere, or let's do effect. Let's roll 2 things on effect. We've got 52, accidentally, 61, bad. Okay. So the atmosphere inside the Neris is bad. I don't know where it accidentally comes in, but we'll just say the atmosphere is bad. So I think that suggests that nobody has actually boarded yet. So that answers that question. Did they search the Black Ops? No, they didn't. So is the AI still, so this is more Cat, what they are going to try and do. So the AI, we decided that because the crew was dead, it was the AI that had actually been calling to get them to go on board. Has that stopped now? What was that? Why was that doing that? So Cat also has 3 stress. Is Cat going to do that? Cat's stressed a bit. There's these dead bodies. Cat may be rather... Oh, no. Well, hold on. Cat's going to try and see if Cat can work out. If we get any of the panic dice roll up for panic, then we will do the panic effect, and basically Cat isn't going to be fiddling around with the computer anymore. Cat wants to get off of this bridge. And doesn't want to do any more checking about dead bodies. There's 3 dead bodies there. Cat wants to get off if he throws a bad one on that. So this is Cat is now going to try and find out if the AI is sending signal. What else could he find out? That's it. He's going to use Comtech to go through what's left of the data and see if the AI is still doing the signal sending, and who sent that Mayday ping. Because it may not have even come from here. It may have been sent another way. What do we have? We have no hits. So we have no panic, but no hits. So rather than push that and generate more stress, Cat just can't find anything out about the signal. And then we will just ask the Oracle, is that signal still being sent? It's complicated, and so we'll say so complicated will lean towards no. So the signal is no longer being sent. So basically, we are no longer receiving a signal. There was but someone was communicating with us. So there was an actual communication, there was an exchange of communication, because I told it as though Rimmer was having a conversation with someone. So someone was responding to Rimmer. There was a response happening. That stopped now. So it could have been the AI. So is the AI sending signal? It's not anymore, but we don't know where it came from. We don't know who sent that signal. We don't know how the signal was being sent by these 3 crew that are now dead. And Cat's going to want to get off. So Cat will head back down to where Lister is. Now we've got our craft and we're attached to this big payload. We're not going to be able to dock with any of these 2 craft whilst we've still got this payload. So we can detach from the payload. We're not going to be able to navigate, like maneuver up close with this payload attached. We've got the EV vehicles. We could try and get into an EV vehicle and move over, but that would not, I wouldn't think that would be part of regulations to basically use one of the escape vessels as like a shuttle. That risks our escape vessel getting damaged, and then we don't have an escape vessel anymore. So that's not a good idea. Rimmer. So what's Rimmer's? Rimmer has got his letter of commendation. So Rimmer's going to sit. So we're going to give Rimmer an opportunity So during all this time, he's had a chance to sit. I'm going to drop his stress by 1. He's going to basically look at his letter of commendation, which is on his console, which was basically his commission, his letter of commission, which is on his console, and he's going to try and calm himself down. So I've dropped his stress by 1. Cat is in a bad. Cat needs to get off this ship. As far as he's concerned, he's got to get off this ship. As far as they're concerned, they've got to get off this ship. 2 stress is just a bit too much for them. Though the air is back, Cat isn't going to be out. Cat's going to go down to where Lister is. So Cat's going to join Lister, and then we've got Crichton. What's Crichton going to do? Crichton has Comtech and piloting. So maybe Crichton is going to. Let's make Crichton do a command role. And Crichton might suggest that they detach from the cargo, from the payload, to be able to navigate the Red Dwarf up and dock with the Augustine to allow them to actually get on board easier, because they don't have that many suits. For basically, they're not equipped for multiple people to go on spacewalks. Like Lister has a suit to go on a spacewalk in case he's got to go out and repair stuff. And then we can decide what we're going to do with the people in cryo, I guess. But first, I think we need to do a bit more investigation. And then Mother on board the Red Dwarf we might find out what they're going to do. So definitely we need to know what's on board this. So first off, is Crichton going to come up with the idea of disengage from the payload? Yes. Okay, so Crichton will propose to Rimmer disengaging from the payload will give them the ability to maneuver the Red Dwarf into docking distance and dock, and that will allow Crichton to go aboard the Augustine and find out what happened to the crew. And it would be safer if he just went over and then maybe they came back, because if there's a pathogen on board, they don't want people to go on board en masse to possibly risk being exposed to a pathogen, particularly if the what was it called? There's the Augustine and the Nereus, particularly if the Nereus is carrying something that's dangerous. Now, Rimmer going to be susceptible to this? So Rimmer doesn't like being told what to do, because he is in charge. So what's it we got? He wants to gain a promotion or a award. So maybe Crichton is going to try a manipulation roll, and he's going to try. I know I shouldn't do so much rolling, but it's hard when you're on your own. So Crichton is going to try and do a manipulation roll and play to Rimmer's wanting a award, and try and get him to agree that they need to disengage the payload to be allowed to go across. Rimmer does not like that idea at all, or doesn't like being told to do it, and instead he's going to say, well look, this all well and good, but shouldn't we just be taking our payload over, and we really need to work out what's going on. And then they're going to have this massive discussion and debate over no, if I bring them out of cryo now, it's too soon. It's too soon. If we bring the crew out now, it's too soon. We need to find out why they died and roll some keywords and what's on board that Black Ops ship. Try and find out what's on board the Black Ops ship without going on board. Because I don't want to go on board just yet, because going on board would be dangerous. I think so. Rimmer instead is going to say Rimmer instead is going to say no to Crichton's suggestion of disengaging the payload, and he's going to seem as though he's going to go through some procedural. He's going to take out some procedural documents and some flip chart things, and he's going to spend a good chunk of time going through all this stuff, and then Rimmer will turn around and say, well, based on protocols 7255B and protocols, this is a Red Dwarf joke, but I'm not going to do the ludicrous bit of it, 754, indeed, we do need to investigate what's on board. Now, based on the fact that we can't dock without releasing the payload, I think what we should do is release the payload. As part of my directive, I'm going to put down in the ship's log that I have said that we release the payload and we leave the payload here so we can navigate closer. And then they will release the payload, so we'll do 2 piloting roles. Crichton will help, and then Rimmer will get an extra, as they're both working to do it. Though Rimmer does have 1 stress dice, we will re-roll this if we need to. Rimmer has an agility of 4 and a piloting of 1, which actually isn't as good a pilot. Rimmer isn't as good a pilot as Crichton. Crichton has an agility of 5 and a piloting of 1, so Crichton is like a 1 dice better pilot. But with Crichton helping, that makes them both the same. So we disengage from the payload, no problems at all, but it's just a simple task completed. If we'd have done additional successes, we could then either have done it impressively, done it quicker, or assigned an additional role to the next one, which is now we have to attempt to dock with the Augustine. We're not going to dock with the Nereus, the derelict. We're docking with the salvage ship. So we're going to attempt to maneuver the Red Dwarf close enough that we can stretch our docking umbilical cord next to it, seal up next to it, and then Dave can cut through, and then we can basically get between the two. Yeah, cool. So we managed to, between Crichton and Rimmer working together, there's lots of heated exchanges, there's lots of running processes and running simulations, so they disengage, the dock from the payload is released, and the whole vehicle jolts slightly as the payload is left sitting a distance away. The Red Dwarf will then do, using manoeuvring thrusters, will manoeuvre itself turning so as its docking umbilical cord side is facing the Augustine. It will attempt to manoeuvre close enough to Augustine to stay in locked orbit with the, or locked, yeah, or I'll say orbit, though it's not orbit, with the Augustine, and it successfully does that, and then the umbilical cord reaches across. Dave will then, we won't do a roll for this is simple. Dave is going to then create a hatch through to allow them to get on board the Augustine and then be able to move through. So we now need to answer a few questions. We've now want to know, so Crichton now needs to go and have a look and see, he's got a med kit. So he is going to go and chat to Kat. So Kat is going to get to leave the thing, leave the Augustine, and Kat can't leave. They can't leave fast enough. Rimmer's going to come off as well because Rimmer's suit he's low on air. Kat is low on air. They're both going to come off, and they're going to sort of have a bit of a decontamination coat. and they're going to go and be scanned by the medical scanner. So they're off being scanned by the medical scanner to make sure they've got no contaminants on them. And Crichton is going to go on board now. One of the things about synthetics from a lot of the stuff that I have read and a lot of the canon alien stuff is that synthetics, because they are programmable, they can be given jobs to do and they don't realise they're doing the job and they don't know why they're doing the job. So maybe Crichton goes on board. So Cat will come off. We are going to give Cat the opportunity to shed all of Cat's stress, as Cat is no longer needs to be there, and Cat, whilst showering, they will shed their stress and no longer feel as stressed. So the only person we now have who's stressed is Rimmer. Is still a bit under the pump, as Rimmer is still responsible for what's going on, as Crichton is going to grab Crichton's stuff and go over. Now the bit here, Crichton's got 11 dice for medical, so that's 8, 9, 10, and this isn't a stress dice. So Crichton is going to go over and Crichton will check on the bodies and see why they died, like what killed them. So that is not a stress dice, that's just a 1. So that's only 1 hit. So Crichton is going to get the most, like, some basic information as to why they died. So did they all die of the same thing? It's complicated. So whatever they suffered from, it may have been the same thing, but they all, in all intents and purposes, may have died of something slightly different. So let's roll some. So what killed the crew? All right, so let's see what killed the crew. Let's try it from the event list. 42. 42, we've got meeting. Let's try the subject table. 15. Colonists. Okay, this is meant to have a colonial type feel to it, but also colonists to colonize something could have several different meanings, particularly when it comes to, you know, the old traditional xenomorph eggs. It could have different things. So we'll go for, let's see, there's an effects table, and then we'll use the person. So there's a personnel and a personal. Let's use the personnel table. No, let's use the personal table. 51, rec. Okay, meeting with the rec. We've got colonists, maybe. So were they sent here? And then we'll do effect. We still don't know. So basically it's something from on board this ship. It's definitely something on board that ship killed them. What? Bad. Yes, still. We know it's bad. Let's have the same one from effects. 66. Frenzied. Okay, all right. So I said they were in their chairs, so that's not going to be a violent frenzy. Maybe it was sort of spasms. Maybe it was something either muscular. Maybe it was either muscular or nervous system. The nervous system or musculature, skeletal system, overloaded. What else could we do? Give us another one. No, that might be enough. All right, let's try personal. 32. Grunts. All right. Grunts could mean military grunts, but I think what it means is there's signs that their respiratory tract went into spasm, that their musculature went into spasm, their nervous systems went into spasm. That all hints to me that it's a nerve agent. A nerve agent affected them. Now the question now is, where did the nerve agent come from, and is the nerve agent still on board the ship? So now Crichton has narrowed down that it was a nerve agent. Crichton is going to try and find out if that nerve agent is on board the Augustine. Is it safe for people to come on board? Whoa, that's a lot of hits. All right, so Crichton is going to be able to work out that the Augustine is the Augustine clear. It's complicated, so he will. So it wasn't clear, which means that there was a risk that Cat could have been infected. We will do so Cat and Lister could be infected. just remind me, they will make stamina rolls or strength rolls. They'll make strength rolls to see if they can survive it. Well, not Lister, because Lister's suit wasn't pierced. It's just Cat. Lister never took his suit off, so just Cat. But the air has now been purified out of the Augustine, and Cat flushes. Crichton flushes the air. Now the question now is, did this come from? And I'm going to lean towards no on this. Did this come from the Black Ops craft? Now leaning towards no is because it means that someone else did it. That's complicated, which means no. Which means that this nerve agent didn't come from. So they maybe they were sent here. No, that makes no sense, does it? That makes no sense. And they said they were trapped. Maybe they're not trapped. Maybe they're not. Maybe there is no sabotage against this. Okay, the complicated bit. I'm going to say that the nerve agent was on the Black Ops ship. It was a protection, but it's not there. Now, is Cat, are they infected with this nerve agent, and are they going to risk, because they don't have much health. Cat could die because of this nerve agent. We could have Cat dying because of nerve agent. If Cat fails this roll, and we will allow Cat to push it once. So Cat, where's Cat? Cat only has a strength of 2. Yeah, stamina. Cat has no stamina and only strength of 2. So if Cat fails this roll, and then pushes and fails, then Cat is going to start to go into a coma because of this nerve agent. Actually, we should do this. No, and then we've got, that was Crichton going over, them coming back. Okay, so Cat starts to feel unwell. Which causes Cat to go instantly into a stress. Okay, Cat is feeling unwell. The nerve agent is beginning to affect Cat, and it would have been cool for Cat to go into a coma, but Cat didn't. The nerve agent is beginning to affect Cat, and Cat is going to have to go into quarantine for a bit because though Cat held it together, the nerve agent did start to affect Cat for a while, so causing Cat to be stressed. Crichton is going to let everyone on board the Red Dwarf know that the Augustine is now clear. Now, the next bit is, what's on board the Black Ops craft? Can we do some scans to find out? Now, our best person is Cat, who is under stress. So Rimmer is going to ask Cat to run some scans on the Black Ops craft and find out what's in there. And at that point, we might say, is Wayland going to get in touch and send some comm traffic? No, so not yet. So that's just pure complicated, so no, not yet. So Cat, is Cat going to want to do some scans of that craft? I think so. Cat's under stress, but Cat's still the company person. There's still some work here that needs to be done. Cat didn't earn their data card and their corporate authorization for doing nothing. So Cat wants to get some on the good side of Wayland, and this could be something good. But Cat is still feeling quite stressed. So let's do a new scene is so Cat has, so let's do a scene. So we're transitioning quite quickly, but let's do a proper scene transition. Crichton has come back across and has decontaminated. They've left the bodies there for now because they want to discuss what to do before they move the bodies and do something else. They now know that there was a nerve agent released, and it seems that the nerve agent came from the Black Ops craft, but it's no longer releasing it. But we don't know what's on board that craft, so we need to find out what's on board the Black Ops craft before we decide what to do next. They will be standing around. Where's that image? They will be, let's see, they're in the galley. So they're not on the bridge, they're in the galley. The 4 of them are in the galley, standing around the table, basically having something to eat and trying to work out what to do next. as, so we'll do, okay, so something weird will happen. So something weird is going to happen in this scene, and that's going to be, they're going to do, so Cat is going to do a, run some diagnostics of the Black Ops craft, and we're going to try and find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is his wits, their wits. 1, 2, 3 is their Comtech, 1 is their stress dice. We've got a stressful situation with 1 hit. Okay, so this is what I had. I had, does the craft have organic matter on board? It would be very hard to open it. Right. So I think this has answered this bit here, and that stress dice for the scene answers that question. Yes, the Nerus, the Black Ops Nerus, has something organic on board. There is organic matter, living or in cryo. We can't tell because we only got 1 hit. And then, so that would be, so Cat has got 1 stress. Is that the second stress? No, I think I already did that across. On board. So there is definitely something there on board. Now Rimmer would have to be doing updates into the ship's logs and sending stuff back, which that makes sense about what might happen next. So there's definitely something organic on board that craft. We don't know about what sort of thing, so we need to make a stress roll, a panic roll for Cat. And if he panics, if they panic, then I think that infers that the organic material isn't normal. 4, that would be 5, 6. So no, so Cat holds it together, but so that doesn't infer it. So let's see, is this non-human origin organic? Yes. Yes. So this is non-human organic. So we don't know what this is, but it's not human organic. Whatever material is on board, either it may have caused the problem. Is the nerve agent not organic? I mean, we could do that as well. We could work that out. Can Crichton work out? No, from the organic. Maybe later. Maybe later we could work out with the. So what do we now know? We now know that. There's something organic on board. So how did the crew die? We know that. There was a nerve agent. What's on the craft? We know that. There's some organic. So I've got like different questions to ask. What's on the craft? We know that. There's some organic material. It is not of human origin organic material on board the Nerus, the Black Ops craft. So there's a dead salvage vehicle. Was there actually a sabotage? Is the Augustine actually sabotaged? No, it's not. So whatever we were told that there was a sabotage craft, it's not sabotage. There's no booby trap, which is what we were told, which is why we came out to come and help, because it was a booby trap. We were told that there's a booby trap which has attached itself to the Augustine from the Nerus. That's not true. It's not. There is no booby trap against the Augustine. All right. So the next bit would be deciding, do the 4 of us go aboard and investigate? Now this is where we might have the other 3 crew come out, which seems to me that I quite like that story. So we've either got 2 things now. This thing has got material on it that Wayland is going to want. Now Wayland, once they know about it, which they're going to know about because we'll tell them about it, or if anything, is Crichton secretly sending updates? No, Crichton isn't secretly sending updates. Oh, okay. Is Crichton openly sending updates? No, he's not openly sending updates. So Crichton isn't. So Crichton as a synthetic isn't doing stuff that Crichton doesn't know about. But Rimmer as an officer would be updating what we've dropped out, or at least Cat. Between Cat and Rimmer as company people, they will be sending updates to Wayland. So Wayland knows that we've docked with it. Wayland knows that there's organic material there. So Wayland is going to ask us to either leave the water behind and take this craft, which is going to be, we might not even be able to do it because we're going to have to go, like Lister's going to have to go out spacewalk and rig up something to allow us to tow it. Or we have, we finish Act 2, which I quite like the sound of. We finish Act 2 with those 3 people coming out of cryo and them being probably ex-military pilot, ex-military, you know, colonial marines. They come and they say they've got kit because they've basically been planted on us to take this craft. I mean, it's very much sort of like MacGuffin-esque storytelling, but that will then introduce into the campaign, into the players, that there's some secret research going off in places, and maybe they're equipped. Oh, maybe they're equipped to get us to tow it, and we will then tow it to the research facility, and then we can do something. So then Wayland knows that we're trustworthy. Yes, okay, all right. So that works. If they come out of cryo and they are equipped to do the stuff, so basically we're told, sit there, shut up, and then they go across, clean out what needs to be cleaned out, and we hear some gunshots, we don't know what's going on. Then they affix the nearest to the Red Dwarf. The Red Dwarf tows it to a research facility. Wayland Yutani knows that they can trust the crew of the Red Dwarf. The Red Dwarf is going to start getting gigs, doing stuff to research stations. At some point, we have a Barney with some aliens. Sort of arc thing. All right. Okay, so we're updating. So where we've got, I don't think, one of my options was the 3 wake up and they fly it off. I don't think they're going to do that because for starters, the derelict can't fly because it's a derelict. They won't be able to repair it because it's old. Told to leave. No, I don't think we've got either of those. I think what it's going to be, they are going to come out. Right, all right. So that's what I think. Act 3 is going to be that. We'll play that through and see with dice rolls what happens. But I think that feels all right. But the crew might turn around and say, no, bugger off. And we might have a fight between them. So we will end Act 2 with our twist, which then twists and turns. As the crew is standing around, there is a signal from the, Mother says, can you come to receive? There's a signal that comes to Mother, and Rimmer is called across to Mother, and Rimmer goes off to speak to Mother as the rest of Dave Lister and the crew is there. And as they're talking, then the cryo system being flushed, sounds start to come. As they're sitting in the galley, they can hear the sounds of the cryo systems being opened up and the cryo systems flushing, awakening the 3 crew who are sitting in there, which is weird. And so they will come around, and so thematically we've got the pods starting to open and them coming out and looking quite beefy, muscular and colonial marine-esque. As Rimmer will then come and join them, and as they're standing in the corridor watching them come up, Rimmer's going to say, we've just been messaged from Wayland. These 3 are going to, are skilled to affix the Nereus to us, and then we are going to tow it somewhere. Now the bit that we don't know is where. So Act 3 will work out where they're meant to go, and there might be other complications that occur at that point. So it might not be as clean cut as I just described, based on the fact if we roll some dice. So them coming out, let's roll. So this is a new scene. No weirdness in this scene. It's as expected, basically. All right, so I think that then takes us to the end of Act 2, where Act 3 is taking this derelict somewhere. It might not be where our original destination was, that might be somewhere else. So we're going to take it somewhere. So we need to know where's it going. I wonder if we're going to go right proper out into uncharted space. We might go proper out into uncharted space. And this would be our opening type of mission that we'd give players if I was DMing. That I would give my players to basically to set up what the theme of the short run campaign would be, and also in part story wise, it's them Wayland finding out they can trust the crew. Cool. Okay, that answered all those questions. I think I have no outstanding questions that I had. If you've got any questions, or you think this can go some different way, or you have any comments about how this is going, do put them down in the comments below. Beyond that, I think we will leave that at the end of Act 2. Looking forward to Act 3 in the next session. Looking forward to you joining me. Thank you very much if you're a subscriber for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, would you mind subscribing? Could you subscribe? Any of those might trigger that little thing to glow. And if you, in fact, why not click it if it's glowing to subscribe? Thank you so much to the members, where I think we called it the Adventurers Guild. I've said various different terms, but thank you so much to the members for your support. It's very much welcome. Thank you to all your support by watching, and we will reconvene next time to find out what happens next in our Alien game. See ya.